14. You put it on the floor. Senior C level. You have to be at the game for it. Games. Thank you.
Hello, so can we just do a commentary test?
Yeah, he's not here, but I can try myself.
Okay, so I can hear myself coming through. Can we just talk away from the camera?
Oh, here he is. We do a test for the... So is it quite loud then?
Yeah, I can hear it. So can you go to your audio settings?
Yeah.
And check your channel 2's in input 2.
I don't know why it's not letting me do anything on the display for the audio.
Just remember you're on, we can hear everything, so just remember. So yeah, turn the phone down, because I can hear myself as well. Alright, give me 1 second.
New South Wales would like to thank the following organisations for their ongoing support of football in New South Wales. Kappa, Fixtures, Gates, Wholesale Trophies, IMG Arena, and the official ball partner of the 2024 NPL New South Wales competition, INA. Their support of football is invaluable and much appreciated. reminded that spectators must never become violent or antisocial towards another person, including fellow spectators, players, coaches, or match officials. Any person identified engaging in disorderly behaviour or who otherwise causes disturbance from this venue and is absolutely banned from attending these matches.
Sure. Okay, so my normal volume will be like, welcome to Illingdon Sports Centre for this Friday night clash in the NPL Men's New South Wales competition, Sydney FC hosting Marconi Stallions. Should I keep going? Okay. Okay. I can also move away, by the way. So. Yeah, I'll go. Yes. Go again? Okay. Okay. So for Sid... Oh, wait. Sorry. Do another sound check? Another sound check? Okay. So for Sydney FC, they're trying to move out of the bottom two positions, but it's quite the opposite for Marconi Stallions. They're in second place and still very much in the title race for NPL Men's New South Wales. Thanks for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Friday night, NPL Men's New South Wales action. We've got an absolute feast for you at the Illidan Sports Centre, Sydney FC versus Marconi Stallions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just moments away from kickoff now. Let's have a look at the team lineups for tonight's encounter, starting with Marconi.
Best way you can, I think, in my opinion.
Number 1, James Silton. Number 3, Cameron
Traditional
Winder.
pets for both.
Number 4, Anton Molinari. Number 6, Dominic Costanzo. Number 7, Franco Mayo. Number 8, Henry Bowen. Number 9, James Wimbledowski. Number 10, Marco Pesic. Number 16, Liam Julie. Number 18, George Daniel. Number 23, Brandon Vella. Substitutions for Marconi Stallions. Number 2, Nathan Milgate. Number 14, Dylan Sasovic. Number 17, Miloslav Popovic. Number 20, Yuki Catano. Number 34, Julian Mons. And number 40, Patrick Williams. Marconi Stallions, coached by Peter Sapinas.
Last weekend, an absolute thriller, 3-all draw.
Now for your Sydney FC. Number 1, Daniel Solsky. Number 34, Blake Bolwell. Number 3, Tyler Williams. Number 4, Joseph Kalusic. Number 22, Will Kennedy. Number 6, Dylan Rose. Number 32, Samuel Lancaster. Number 16, Jacob Brissett. Number 17, Ayub Mo. Number 33, Matthias McAllister. And number 16, Pearson Kasawaya. Substitutions for Sydney FC. Number 14, Jared Middleton. Number 2, Noah Mackey. Number 8, Namori Junior Condi. Number 11 is Marek French. Number 9, Faye Callahan. And number 40, Alexander Zabadinos. Sydney FC, coached by the ever-smiling Jimmy Van Weeren. The match officials this evening. In the centre we have Billy Jones. Their assistants, Matty Allen and Emma Cochran.
Kelly Jones.
And the fourth official is Evan Zabagoulis.
Other members of the third team, the match officials for tonight, the assistant nearest to us is the Potsbeck assistant. On the far side is Matty Allen. Turns out to be another fourth official. Men's, women's. Just a little bit more, any chance across the city lines. It's incredible. So many goals in recent times. 16 goals in the last 3 games. More than half of those being it's incredible. Still 9 points behind. Callister. Bella steps in. The Toronto Finals, I think we did the finals in the 2023 season. The 16 final series for this season. And 41 points in second place as we head into this weekend's action. 8 points in seventh place. passing on lines. So under pressure. First ball. Substitutes. Sydney FC. Alexander Savadinos. Demokovsky might get to this ball. Well timed dive. Obviously, again, decent ball. Now, long range effort from Daniel. He wants a touch. The two wings would be to be Jacob Brazil and Pearson. Lancaster. Good ball out to Casawaya. Allowed to cut inside. Early shout. Kelly Jones completely uninterested. Looking at this Sydney FC lineup, of course, A-League Academy sides and NPL tend to have more rotation week to week than the rest of them, so it's always a challenge that I enjoy. Samuel Lancaster. Who gets it all the way across to Temelkovsky, and Temelkovsky finishes the early goal of Marconi Stallions. What a pass from Michael Meyer. Golden finishing was from James Temelkovsky. His goal tally, it's reminding me of further on because it's 16 goals and 17. James Temelkovsky, 17 for the season.
Marconi Stallions 1, Marconi FC 0.
17 goals scored by Marconi in their last 3 games plus 6.5 minutes. Very frantic and motivated in the pass. Something very special. My man who's played Casawaya has kept it in play. That is a swap by Minarich. Now, little hint there. And Sydney's left about one of my favourite songs.
Come on, hey!
He's right behind Linarich, and Mo could head straight for the box. Linarich is very strong in the tackle, and that shout from the Sydney FC fans behind the goal for a free kick, that is as optimistic as the last time I asked them. It's good to have dreams, but Linarich. Tricky though, because Mo quick enough to put the pressure on. The sky. Yeah. Breaks for Costanzo. Dominic Costanzo. Cross. About 10 minutes, bloke here. Noticed both Sydney fullbacks for today. They're got a bit of a Megan Campbell about them. Some proficient long throwing going on there. Think about the position. It's a question for later. That's broken up, and then Minarich looks like got the jump on Mo. You need to when someone's as quick as Ayuk Mo, and well, it didn't go out of play, and Mo hits the turf again. Goes for distance. I think it's shoulder flexibility. That's what to get the distance on those new throws. Back to Hilton. Again. Now the reverse ball from Brissett. Windus in these these two Marconi Stallions. Definitely have to keep an eye on the ball with quietly and very vigilant distance. What a pace. Almost into trouble there, and there's the giveaway. George Daniels nice and safe. Early stages of anything. Straightforward. Position. First, 8 games for this weekend. Dangerous. Swingle. Six men's games. Six NPL men's games tomorrow, which you can watch the same way you're watching this one. Good spread of kickoff times as well. Drinking as well, Dominic Grenady.
Get up one! Get up one! Get up one!
Two defenders, both of them, and then 50-50 win from Yuli. So Yuli then immediately dispossessed. Here's Brissett. Brissett. Brissett again. Marconi will be happy. Brissett had a little bit of room for him, but he ended up getting bodies in the way and forcing them backwards. Looking real good at the Sydney FC flag. So, yes, 5 p.m. tomorrow, Sydney Olympic versus Manly United at Belmore Sports Ground. The other 5 p.m. kickoff is at Plume Park, Central Coast Mariners versus Northwest Sydney Spirit. Two teams promoted at the end of the promoted to this division at the end of the 2022 League One men's season. And I think it's a game at Plume Park, so I'm just going to assume that it's called by the voice of Central Coast football, Peter Pryor. 5:30 p.m. RPL Leichhardt versus St George FC from Lambert Park. It's great to have games back at Lambert Park again. The resurfacing work for their synthetic pitch down there finally done. And by the way, Marconi, mixed feelings they would have about their recent trips to Lambert Park. They lost their round 7 Australia Cup game qualifier to RPL Leichhardt there at Lambert Park, but then they did also beat RPL Leichhardt 4-1 in the league there recently. So, you know, the swings and roundabouts of football. And Dominic Costanzo now contemplating what to do with this dead ball. There's 2 in the wall, which... actually, now the wall splits as Costanzo delivers, and that is straight down Solski's throat. So, yes, the latest of the games in NPL Men's played tomorrow is 7 p.m. from Landon Stadium with the team some people call the Pride of Western Sydney, and that is, of course, Blacktown City. Come on, the Pride of Western Sydney wouldn't be any other club, would it? But anyway, Blacktown City are playing St. George City. And then one NPL Men's game on Sunday here at 3 p.m. here at the Illington Sports Centre. Rockdale Illington facing Hills United. And that'll be a treat for those of you available to watch on Sunday 3 p.m. because that'll be called by the Adonis himself, Will Gotzes. Brissett cutting inside, and then ruled to be a clean challenge by Liam Yulee. Now, flags up. Flags up on the near side from Emma Kotzbeck. So ruled that Tyler Williams did not keep that in play. Now, something with George Daniel. I wonder if there's been some kind of blood spotted, because Marconi, for the time being, down to 10 players. So there's Costanzo operating a little bit deeper for now. Yulee has had to scramble here. And then Blenarich has shepherded that well. And Hilton picks up the ball. I'm just going to try and keep an eye on George Daniel. Some running repairs, a little pit stop required for the Marconi left back. Of course, Marconi down to 10 players, so you'd think the best strategy is just try and hold the ball until George Daniel's back on the field. Sydney, of course, will do whatever they can to trying to break up that idea. But Yulee getting the shouts from Costanzo. He had good space. Yulee never got the chance to try and ping a diagonal in his direction. Then Yulee, it's great defending. He wasn't having that shoulder fake from Jacob Brissett. As Lancaster puts the pressure on and Bowman goes back to the keeper. Hilton not getting the contact he wanted, but I suppose that little bit of danger is over for Marconi. Whatever running repairs needed to be done. I think I could see a bandage on Daniel's left leg, but the important thing is George Daniel, nothing serious at all, and he's back on the field. It wasn't as quick as, shall we say, a Formula One style pit stop. Still incredible that you can change 4 tyres in 2 seconds, but that's Formula One for you. Good cross in from Brissett and the header. So those knockdowns can be so dangerous. Not that time. Mlinaric has time to think about how he'll distribute. And I think the 3 Sydney FC players stopping the ball from getting to Jesic. If you're defending against Marconi, generally a good idea to stop the ball from going to their talismanic number 10 and their captain. Marko Jesic has contributed so many goals to Marconi down the years. Actually, is he in his 9th season of Marconi? How time flies. I remember watching Jesic play for Marconi when they were in NPL too. Those days feel like yesterday sometimes. Daniel to Costanzo. Yulee back to Mlinaric. The Sydney FC, they've shown a fair bit of high pressing in the opening 22 minutes or so, but they're standing off for now. And it's very hard to keep what you might call a Marcelo Bielsa level of high pressing up for the entire game. So important to take those rests, kind of like take those in-game rests, so to speak, whenever you can. As Costanza whips it in, and Temelkovsky, as usual, making a dangerous run. The ball wasn't allowed to get to him. Hilton wanted options, so he's good composure with Ayokmo running straight at him. Now Yulee. Turned over. And Bolwell immediately didn't have a lot of options in front of him, so he goes backwards. Now Lancaster. And that's, I think, the call goes against Temelkovsky. Once again, Solski goes for distance. Header was won by Dylan Rose. Now this is Kennedy. Another header from Rose. Mole tries to shield it. Now Lancaster. Brissett. Another shimmy. He's able to cut inside again to the edge of the box. Brissett. Goal kick. Now everyone is upset by this. Some people want a penalty. Others want a yellow card for simulation. All we'll get is a goal kick. Good leap from Jesic. Well, the ball well prevents the ball from getting to Costanzo and then plays it over the touchline. The dummy from Costanzo. Bolwell sticking to his task and Bolwell stops the ball from getting past him. Yuli across to Bowman, who has to scramble. Does it nicely. Plays in Brandon Vella. Now Franco Meyer. In swinger. And just enough of a touch to take it outside of the box. Daniel was trying to prevent the counter-attack, and now Yuli is fouled. Costanzo. Lovely pass. Laid off for Daniel. And Daniel clips it in towards Jesic. Very necessary defensive header for Sydney. Now Daniel again. Pings it. Goes wide. So as we look at Solski's latest goal kick, that'll break for Kalasic. I'm just looking at the height in the Marconi lineup. Windust and Blinaric very tall, as is Daniel Bowman in central midfield. So there's a reasonable chance those are longer balls out from the back that they're going to be met by one of Marconi's taller players. So any such high balls would have to be right on the money. Speaking of, here's a player who can put a pass on the money. And it does make its way to Jesic, and then Temelkovsky reaching. Puts it over. That's always a tough chance. It was an awkward height. Probably too low to head, but very high to get your foot over the ball when it's about hip height, especially when it's zipped at you from close range. And adding to that, Temelkovsky was under pressure as well, immediately from a defender, so not exactly a glaring miss, that one. Now, intercepted by Bolwell. There's a little bit of room and 4 options in front of him. Runs straight into Yuli. Kept alive there. And Brissett with the touch pass. Daniel will go on. There's possibly some afters. And then there's a free kick. Brissett over this set piece. Body language suggests a clip ball into the middle. That's what it is. Marconi using their height to head it away. Will it be kept in? It is. By Kasawaya. Low to the near post. McAllister couldn't make it stick. And then that is a goal kick. Marconi getting on with it, going short. Vela, well, he got the ball as soon as he thought about facing forward. There was the pressure, so he's gone back to the central defenders. Mlinaric, yep, he tries the longer pass, and that'll be over Bolwell. Solski as well. Yes, Solski can see that out for a goal kick. And the person had a great view of that was the photographer. I believe that is the official Football New South Wales photographer for this round. And there was also, could see the hand up in acknowledgement from Costanzo. He liked the idea from Mlinaric. He did go over the fullback, so maybe the next such pass like that might end up on Dominic Costanzo's boot. Brissett on the touchline, and the second defender comes. Brissett gets past them, and now Ayuk Mo in a 50-50, which is won by Windhurst. Mlinaric getting it forward, and Costanzo, his header not reeled in by a teammate. Bowman, time absolutely at a premium in this game. It's fascinating watching. And then Costanzo, well, that's Myers going to give chase, but Solski's at a great starting position, as goalkeeping coaches refer to it. It's pretty easy for him to reach that ahead of Marconi's number 7. Kasawaya, who's the touch off last? Of Sydney. We restart with Vela's throw in. Defended well on the grandstand side, although not that well, because it ends up being a throw in further forward from a Marconi perspective. Now Karlasic, the pressure's coming, so it goes to the other central defender, Williams, who turns inside the box, back to Karlasic. Is McAllister going to be the out ball? Windhurst followed him all the way, but also gave away the free kick, despite his him protesting using the universal language, sign language, pointing to the ball to say he got it, but the officials did not agree. This might open up for Bolwell. It's almost the furthest forward we've seen him the whole game. Tries the precision pass, but Mlinaric has great positioning there. Might have coughed it up to Ayuk Mo, though, and Mo has won a free kick. And then, possibly for the afters, Anton Mlinaric is the first player into the referee's notebook. We have a brief stoppage. I mean, also shout out to the match reporter for tonight's game, which is Madeline Riley, who's been with our media team for a while. And that match report will be up pretty soon after the final whistle this evening. And Mark Stavroulakis, our fearless leader, the Greek god of football, New South Wales, as always doing excellent work to get these reports up as soon as the reporters submit them. We'll see that in the usual places. Here's the free kick. Mole going direct for goal. Flicks off the wall, and it's Sydney's first corner of tonight's game. Mo, another dead ball for him. Outswinger, headed away at the near post. Sydney keeping it alive. Brissett, this time, and they read Brissett's attempt to twist past the defensive attention. And danger over from a Marconi perspective. Maya switching over to the near side as we see things. Cross put behind by Williams. So after we had a corner at one end, now a corner at the other end. Here's the signal. Marconi's tall lads are forward. Delivered nicely and then not really cleared by the first touch. In fact, back into the mixer it goes. Here's the shot from Maya. It's over. Now, goal kick getting well into opposition territory, resulting in a Sydney FC for right on halfway, right in front of the canteen, the place from which I bought a very, very lovely kebabi roll that I had as my dinner. So it's a very slight gripe. There wasn't any Ivar available, like there has been in my previous visit to Illingdon Sports Centre, so hopefully the Ivar is there next time. I'm sure there will be a next time before the end of the season, what with 3 different teams calling this venue home. There's Windust. Nice diagonal to Costanzo. First touch takes it forward. And as Bolwell winning the ball. You'll see the advantage now. Played by the referee. Clear call there. And that is a straight ball. That ends up being, it should be and is straightforward for Hilton. In fact, James Hilton just sticking out one big glove and claiming the ball. Costanzo finding himself a little bit more centrally. Yuli cycles it to keep it away from the pressure. Now Bowman couldn't reach it. Samuel Lancaster for Sydney. And now Brissett loves running with the ball. He's done that a lot, but he's also faced a lot of pressure as Bolwell skips around a challenge and keeps it in play. Brissett doesn't reel it in, so it's Daniel Bowman for the Stallions. With Marconi's defenders, although now it's Zing to Costanzo. And in the meantime, Daniel Solski yelling out the instructions, and yeah, was wondering about that. But yes, the challenge for which Kelly Jones played advantage earlier. I believe that's a yellow card to Dominic Costanzo. But in the meantime, McAllister with room to run. Stopped. Lovely tackle, clean as a whistle from Cameron Windust. Mlinaric trying to turn defense into attack. Here's Maya. He thought about the long-range effort. Instead, he plays it to Bowman, making the late supporting run. Now Maya, still going, and a shot off balance, but it's in anyway. What a goal from Franco Maya. The man who set up the first goal has scored the second. Marconi Stallions galloping into a commanding position as we approach half-time. 2-0. And Franco Maya has a wonderful strike to go with the assist. He's already recorded in this game. Marconi's number 7 now has 7 for the season. And the Stallions are looking good to record what would be their 3rd win in 4 games. Now, Sydney on the move again. McAllister takes a tumble. Goal kick. Brissett looking for McAllister. Good first touch as well. He looks to bring in Kasawaya. A return pass not quite as accurate. Kalisic leaving that for Solski. Now, I have just discovered, because I finally managed to hook up my laptop to my phone hotspot, there's quite a few members of the commentary team watching. Good to know someone appreciates my references. It's good to know there's a couple of Formula One fans in our commentary team as well. And I may have made this one before, but I'll do it again. Because this Sydney FC lineup, it's familiar. It gives a familiar feel to all fans of Formula One. You want to know why? You want to know why, Nicholas? Because there's a Williams at the back. Another big shout. That will be a free kick and another Marconi yellow. Now, my eyes aren't the best, but I think it's the most recent goal scorer, Franco Maya, who will be, by my count, the third person into the referee's notebook. Going back to the commentator group chat, good to see someone else has shared my ire with regards to the lack of Ivar at the Illingdon Sports Centre canteen. I was, well, I tried to make up for it as best I could with lots and lots and lots of chili flakes. Kelly Jones, by the way, a bit of consultation with Matty Allen, assistant on the far side. Now, is there going to be another card? There's a Sydney physio on the field as well. Of course, I don't think I saw another card. Now, physio's on, but there was a card shown, so this player does not have to leave the field. I suppose this is a moment to take a breather, because this will add to the stoppage time. And it's my usual reminder to myself, because I always seem to miss the fourth official, even when it's right in the fourth official is right in front of me, as Ethan Svargulis is this evening. Yeah, that will add to the time added on before we end this first period, which has been very entertaining. Sydney FC, good value, certainly testing Marconi at the back, but just that extra quality and experience in attack as what has the Stallions 2 goals to the good. And this, what's now the 43rd minute. Lancaster and Brissett touch past Daniel, but not past Mlinaric. And here's Temokovsky, kills it well. Always tough to do that when it's a high ball and you're going backwards. How about that pass? Here's Meyer. It goes across the 6-yard box and it's cleaned up. But when you think about how the first goal was constructed with Franco Meyer playing an improbable but spectacular through ball to Temokovsky, well, the number 9 almost returned the favour. Play with space inside. I think that's Dylan Rose. Now he's trying to find the right backspin on it that'll bring it into McAllister's path, and the handball call, despite the ire of those with a Sky Blue affiliation, it's gone Marconi's way. They're not hanging about. They want a third goal before halftime. Perhaps they rush. Perhaps they were a bit too quick with that move. Lenaric plays it into McAllister, and the flick on might work for Dylan's son. Here's Matthias McAllister. Lenaric back in position, and I think he's put enough pressure on the cross. Did go in, but straight down at James Hilton's throat. Bowman, he's thinking about the killer ball because Jesic was trying to break the defensive line with his run. Instead, the safer option picked by Marconi. Now, the board is out. And Garcia 3 on Ethan Vargulis' board. As it's clipped in by Costanzo. The header goes sideways. Meyer doesn't reel it in. Oh, might get a second chance. Good ball to Costanzo. He's 1-on-1 in the box. And Costanzo cross takes a deflection. And it's into the gloves for Daniel Solski. And I think I heard the Daniel Solski fan club, about 2 or 3 people, give an extra big cheer for him claiming that cross. Yep, there's the signal. 3 minutes of time added on before we end this first period. Ayukmo lost his footing, and then chance that's judged to be clean. Bolwell met immediately by Mlinaric. Then Yuli gives away the free kick. So Sydney FC, they've had a few set pieces from this position. I think that's the 4th Marconi player into the book for the first half. Almost, you'd say, the final chance for Sydney to pull a goal back before the interval. Now, I know fellow commentator Nicholas Kutniak has mentioned a Formula One team from years gone by. I'm trying my best to fit them into the call. Really, I am. But, yeah, I might need to spend the halftime break thinking about that one. Oh, of course, the obvious Formula One shout-out. Shout to St. George. Oh, yeah, I'll talk about this set piece first. Brissett swings it in, and a couple of touches. Hilton prevents the corner. Ah, yeah. Great shout from Pete Pryor. It's a shame that that energetic Brazilian right-back from last year, Pedro Ferrari, is no longer in the league. I'm also annoyed that I only got to call him in action once, or to give him his full name, Pedro Ferrari Arcanjo da Silva, but you can see why we just called him Pedro Ferrari. Easier and sounds way, way better. And in case you're wondering, yes, Pedro Ferrari, he did have a great engine. Of course he did. Pedro Ferrari also probably better at strategizing than the Ferrari Formula One team strategists. Anyway, back to this game. Poor Charles Leclerc. Mlinaric. Back to the keeper. Oh, about 45 seconds left before half time. And great diagonal again. Costanzo bounces it off a defender and the quick throw. Daniel supporting. Now that is going to be a quarter. Now Marconi seemed pretty leisurely about 30 seconds ago, but you'd think they would hurry. This surely is the last play of the game. Here we go. Good ball, and the header is in. They have their 3rd goal before half-time. And Dominic Costanzo, once again, with an absolutely pinpoint dead ball delivery. There's still a long way to go before they can claim the 3 points, but Marconi Stallions already have the 3 goals. And that could be just about that. Oh, the full-time whistle hasn't been blown, but surely we will hear that from Kelly Jones as soon, or well, soon after We play restarts. And the third goal scored by number 3, Cameron Windust. So Marconi did, and Dominic Costanzo did use their team's height from the dead ball situation. It's an absolutely thumping header. And there we go. There is the whistle. So it's looking great for the team from Sydney Southwest. Marconi Stallions leading Sydney FC by 3-0 as the teams head into the dressing sets. They open the scoring in the 7th minute. A wonderful through ball from Franco Meyer set it up for James Temelkovsky, his 17th of the season. Franco Meyer scored the second goal from about 25 yards. Incredible strike when he appeared to be off balance, but he's beaten the keeper anyway. Franco Meyer made it 2-0. And then, as we just saw, with almost the final touch of the first half, Cameron Windust with a towering header from a Dominic Costanzo corner. That's how we got to where we are. Sydney FC 0, Marconi Stallions 3. This is Eric Subihano on the mic from the Illingdon Sports Centre. We'll take a short break, then we'll be back for the second half action. We'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that spectators must comply with the ALU terms of admission and the venue's conditions of entry, including provisions relating to security screening and intoxication. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item or assessed as unduly intoxicated may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, and handed over to police for further questioning. The lighting of flares, fireworks, smoke bombs, or incendiary devices inside or outside the venue is a safety risk to other spectators and will not be tolerated. Any person identified engaging in such activity will be handed over to police for further questioning and potentially banned from attending future matches. We ask that you respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome teams back onto the field. Marconi Stallions and your Sydney FC.
Welcome back to the second half of our coverage Friday night. NPL Men's New South Wales action from the Illington Sports Centre. Marconi Stallions in a great position as we ready ourselves for the second period, leading by 3-0 over Sydney FC, courtesy of goals from James Temelkovsky, Franco Meyer, and right at the end of the first half, Cameron Windust. So there has been a double change. By the way, there's the whistle. Away we go for the second half. So Nathan Milgate, number 2, and Julian Monge, number 34, are on. So it's been a busy period recently for Marconi, so would be understandable if they decided to rotate their players. And as I did say, I believe I said at the top of the broadcast, it was an unchanged starting lineup that Marconi had from the previous game against Sutherland Sharks 6 days ago. So, of course, as is usually my way, I missed the signal from the fourth official, Ethan Svargulis, assuming, of course, that the subs were put on the board. So now I've got to do process of elimination to see which Marconi players have been replaced. I think Nathan Milgate, his first touch of the game here, he'll be on for Anton Linarich. Hilton clears. Kasawaya. Still not sure who Julian Monge has replaced. Kasawaya swings it into the middle. Windust gets the foot high enough to clear it away. Kasawaya trying to work a second crossing opportunity. And Marconi have it with Vela. There's Monge. Might be his first touch. So, has Julian Monge come on for... Gone blank. Liam Yulee, I think. I think that is the substitution made by the visitors. Sydney, I believe, are unchanged from how they started this game. Well, Kennedy is an incredible hurl. Not quite Rory Delap areas, but not that far away. And of course, when in doubt, just chuck it down the line. Look at that. Will Kennedy has gained about 40 metres just like that. Bowman goes backwards. Then is forward by Vela. Temelkovsky trying to be the target forward. And Kennedy, well, obviously he thought it was off Marconi. It was not. Now Vela throwing right in front of us. So there's at least one thing I'll be able to see now. And this Vela, despite claiming that it didn't go in, so he should have been able to retake that throw. Sydney have the ball. Rose loops it over Jesic and forced backwards. Trying to create some impetus. Kennedy towards Kasawaya. Kennedy was underlapping, I think that's the term. Wanted the return ball. Blocked well by, I think, Monge. Now Kennedy, here we go. Here we go, Will Kennedy. This is your time to impersonate Irish international legend Megan Campbell. Let's see how far this one goes. There's, of course, the short option, but no. That's a massive throw, and Windust under pressure. Needs a couple of headers, even then it's still not out of the box. Here's Rose. Rose, back to Kennedy. Kennedy, and Franco Meyer, he just wants to shepherd it all the way out. And that is shepherding over the goal line that any central defender would be proud of. By the way, I just did notice, apologies to anyone who experienced some technical difficulties in the first half. Apparently, my voice was at times not as loud as it should have been, so we do apologize. These are kind of the travails of live broadcasting, although if there are people who said my voice wasn't loud enough, presumably there are other people who now think my voice is too loud. You can't win either way. Good ball out to Marconi's left-hand side. And Costanzo, 1-on-1. Whips it in. Temelkovsky tried the flick. Was blocked off by Williams. Scoop pass. But Sydney break it up. Brissett just running out of room on the far side. Back it goes now, across to the most recent goal scorer for Marconi, Cameron Windust. Meyer tries to get past two players, and he's found an option, and well, that will go back because Meyer, after he'd played that pass to Jesic, he collected a bit of a late hit. Goes back to the free kick. Referees wanted to see if something would develop despite that foul, but we'll go back. Vela restarts. Jesic providing the option. Now up for grabs here. Temelkovsky is quick enough, but then McAllister. Just too many green jerseys in McAllister's way. Now Vela. Jesic. And Kasawaya. And it's just like the first half. Very hard for any player on this pitch to find some space on the ball. nice chest. I love a chested pass. Well done from Brandon Vella, but Lancaster wins that little duel with Daniel Bowman. Now, here's Brissett. And George Daniel has to scramble in defense. Brissett. Oh, that's a good tackle from Daniel. Who does it break for on the edge of the box? Daniel again. And he's found Jesic. From a Marconi perspective, Jesic usually a good option. Bowman starting a run from deeper, but Marconi working the short passes for now. Or it's coughed up. Kasawaya gets past Vela. And no decision. So on we go with Maya. Bowman pings it to Maya. Support's already beyond him in the form of Brandon Vella. It's a good crossing position. He curls it, but it's a punch in the end, I think, from Solski. He finds a teammate. Brissett now trying to start a counter-attack. Brave header from Windust. When you stooped ahead, you could always cop a boot in a very uncomfortable place. As Jimmy Van Buren is about to prepare a double substitution. I can see the number 9, which would be Bailey Callahan. I'll have to keep an eye on the Sydney technical area, but Marconi's on the move. Corner kick. I see a number 8. So Bailey Callahan, number 9, and Namori Conde, number 8, will be on, I think, at the next opportunity, but teams generally don't like making subs at a set piece. That Sydney double sub not going to happen just yet. Giving Ethan Svargulis more time to prepare the board. Costanzo, he's already set a goal up with 1 corner kick this evening. Can he repeat that feat? Temelkovsky is closest to the keeper, providing the most nuisance to Daniel Solski. And towards the near post, but that's into the side netting. And your own goal kick, generally the perfect time to make a triple substitution. So number 11, Marin France, is also going to come on, but leaving the field. I saw 16, which would be Pearson Kasawaya, as well as number 33, Matthias McAllister, so no goal for Dylan Sun this evening. It looks like Callahan will replace McAllister up front. 16 would be Pearson Kasawaya. Marin France is a wide player just like him. Ah, yes. And the other player to be replaced is number 13, Jacob Brissett. It's still hard to get used to. That's been the case for a few years now, but now that subs can leave from all kinds of, from the nearest touchline, so it's a triple sub, you could have to try and keep your eye on 3 different parts of the pitch at once to see who the replaced players were. Thank goodness for the 4th official, as here's Costanzo, and he aims for the far post, not quite the curl that he required. So, just looking at the new players, so it's 3 straight swaps. Jimmy Van Buren has swapped both his wide players as well as one of the centre forwards. And it doesn't, well, it's Sydney having a bit of trouble getting to any of those players. Kennedy momentarily stopped by Franco Maya. Now Galasic. Kennedy. Now, decision's gone against Nathan Milgate. And that's the first impact, shall we say, from one of the new Sydney FC players, Marin France. And he also met quite a bit of an impact there to win that free kick. Lancaster. Conde. There's not a lot of room, and he does indeed run out of it. Kalasic. Rose gets the better of Temelkovsky. Not too many people can say that this season. Now Monch for Marconi. And Costanzo. Yes, he does keep that in play. I have mentioned at least twice that Matthias McAllister, son of former Central Coast Mariners, Wellington Phoenix, and Australia under-17 player Dylan McAllister, of course, would be remiss of me, as that will run through to James Hilton, not to mention that Dominic Costanzo is son of the former Marconi Stallions, Adelaide United, and presumably a few other clubs. A former central defender for those clubs, Angelo Costanzo. What a play he was, by the way. Like a Angelo Costanzo. Shame if you're too young to have never seen him play. He was like a Rolls Royce at the back for Adelaide United in their early days in the A-League, and even earlier back in the days of the NSL when he was at Marconi. Dominic Costanzo, of course, not a central defender, but still is skillful to watch. Now, pass and the little outside of the foot dink from Temelkovsky. Too much weight on it, so it's easy for Solsky. Now, a little bit of room here. Essentially, as Marconi try to get back into their shape. Millgate is across, and Millgate, now the tackle was clean. Some, shall we say, optimistic appeals, but that's really from the fans in the grandstand here at the Illington Sports Centre. The players knew there was nothing wrong with that challenge. There's all ball there. Into the middle, one hop, and Windus. Good distance off a ball where the velocity was dying. Windus really twisting the neck muscles there. Now Kennedy, Windus stepping in again. And it breaks for Marin France. France proving to be equally as tricky a customer as the player he replaced on that side for Sydney, Jacob Brissett. Now Kennedy is nicked in there and decent cross to the far post. Shot goes wide. That was Ayuk Mo, I believe, stealing it at the back post. Will Kennedy with an excellent cross. It was really into that nightmare area between keeper and central defenders. The defenders were running towards their own goal. Too much pace for them to get a touch on it. Ayuk Mo couldn't take advantage. Now, as I hear the ground announcer, it kind of reminds me, when Rockdale play here, my goodness, that ground announcer, he's got so many sponsors to shout out. Does it? They do it at halftime, and it takes pretty much the whole halftime break to mention all the club sponsors. Of course, Sydney FC and St George FC, they are tenants. They do not have any such obligations. And today's ground announcer having a much easier time of it. Monch going backwards. And then all the way back to Hilton. And a backspin on that. Met by a nice header from Kennedy. Lancaster. Windust defends the one-on-one situation and plays it forward. Now, that'll break for Vella. As Marconi go right to left. This is McDaniel. And there's Tyler Williams, who moved across in the absence of Blake Bolwell. And then that will be a free kick. So perhaps if you missed any of the action, of course, the joys of Football New South Wales YouTube streaming, you can just click back on your stream and see what you missed. You don't even need to create an account, although I'm told it does make it easier for various reasons. And we'll try and perhaps remind people of the two sets of lineups out there at some point. But first, more pressing matters, this free kick. Another good delivery, and it might go all the way through. Oh, we saw Dominic Costanzo. He scored from a similar position in what people are calling the malice at the Palace, that incredible midweek game a couple of weeks ago when Marconi defeated Rockdale Illington by 9-0. Costanzo wasn't too far away from getting himself on the score sheet. Meyer heads. Kennedy stopped by Monch. But Sydney will have the throw. Now, might open up for Callahan here, and he does shoot. It's a straightforward save for James Hilton. Oh yeah, so a reminder of the two lineups out there. First, let me have a go at Marconi, of course. The man with the ball, James Hilton, is in goal. And back four from left to right, number 18, George Daniel. Number 2, Nathan Milgate. Number 3, Cameron Windust. And number 23, Brandon Vella. In central midfield, number 34, Julian Monge. And number 8, Daniel Bowman. Now, Hilton's got to hurry. Good sweeper keeping there from James Hilton. Ah yes, the rest of that Marconi formation. Wide on the right from Marconi. This man challenging for possession, Franco Maya, number 7. Wide on the left, number 6, Dominic Costanzo. I think in the central attacking midfielder position, shall we say. Number 10, the captain, Marko Jesic. And at the point of attack, number 9, James Temolkovsky. Now, that's a switch. And it does make its way to Dominic Costanzo. It might open up for the shot here. He shoots, and I think it was Joseph Kalisic bravely throwing himself in the way of that, so Solski didn't have to make a save. Now, ball out from the back for Sydney. And back it goes to Kennedy. By the way, shout out to the longer-term Sydney FC A-League women fans who have a familiar feeling, because once again, there's a Kennedy at the back for the Sky Blues. Windust. One hop, it gets to Costanzo. And Costanzo bringing in George Daniel. Costanzo again. Costanzo looking to beat the defender with a change of pace, but he is stopped. I think that was actually Marin France back defending. Now, Windust favourite for that one, despite Ayuk Mo's best efforts. Although Mo, he's committed the foul. Well, Sydney FC standing off, just happy to let Marconi have it in a deep position, but if they want to change this result in any way, surely they can't let that happen for too long. I think well past the hour mark here. Actually, yeah, there's about 65 minutes played here. Marconi leading by 3-0. All 3 goals coming in the first half from James Temolkovsky, Franco Maya, and Cameron Windust. Now, France trying to start a quick break. Ball runs over the sideline, and Marconi Stallions about to make more changes. It might be another double substitution. Monge. And Bowman goes backwards. By the way, that Sydney FC lineup out there, because yes, there was that triple substitution made relatively recently by Jim Van Vieren. So yeah, it is Daniel Solski in goal. 4 at the back, so from left to right, it's number 22, Will Kennedy. Number 4, Joseph Kalisic. Number 3, Tyler Williams. And number 34, Blake Bolwell. In central midfield, number 32, Samuel Lancaster. And number 6, Dylan Rose. Wide on the left is number 8, Namori Conde. Wide on the right, number 11, Marin France. And the 2 up front, number 9, Bailey Callahan. And number 17, Ayuk Mo. Mo dropping deeper in this phase of play. Maya, 2 good challenges. Then Temolkovsky wins the free kick. Now, I'll go for the bird's eye view for this next Marconi double substitution. Coming onto the field is number 20, Yuki Kitano, and number 17, Milislav Popovic. So Popovic trying to add to his tally of 2 goals for the season, and he's got a decent amount of time in which to do so. So yes. Players making way. Marconi skipper Marko Jesic, and number 6, Dominic Costanzo. So let's see how that works out. Looks like Kitano will be the the replacement for Jesic, just kind of a little bit withdrawn, but playing just off James Temelkovsky centrally in attack for Marconi, and Miloslav Popovic has gone out wide, replacing, filling the role that Dominic Costanzo performed to such distinction in the opening 65 minutes or ish, a little bit more, as that's a free kick won by Marin France. In fact, Dominic Costanzo has gone straight to the dressing rooms. Can't blame him. It's quite cold here. There's a yellow card. Apologies. I'm not sure to who. The closest players in the area were Miloslav Popovic and George Daniel. Not quite sure who actually received the yellow card. As here's the free kick. It's high. And after all that, off a Sydney FC head. So, a goal kick. Boomed forward by Sydney. And Callahan, I think it is, giving chase. Windust has had an excellent game. And again, he's been anticipating those balls forward from the Sydney FC backline well. Is generally getting a head start on the Sydney FC attackers. It's like that old saying, the first 5 yards are in your head. And that head of Cameron Windust also produced a goal this evening, right at the end of the first half. A tackle from Kitano. And Popovic. And back to Daniel. Now Williams breaks it up. And so we're going to see a centre-back run. And broken up now. Marconi trying to take it the other way with Bowman. Now Popovic. Decent number of Sky Blues back. More arriving. Popovic wants room to whip in across. Stent will go for the possession pass. It's Daniel. He's stopped by France. And France trying to run it from a very deep position. Bowman getting in his way. Temelkovsky backing in once again against Karlasic. And Karlasic making the clean challenge in the penalty area. Now it's clipped in and off ball well. He did not keep it behind. Obviously, he being Daniel Solski. So that's going to be a Marconi corner. And I think the flag was up for the assistant on the near side. Emma Kotzbeck. By the way, shout out to one of my friends who is a massive fan of Emma Kotzbeck. I really like Emma's work out there, running the lines. Actually, she does that both in this competition and in A-League Women. So Emma certainly a very busy person. Sydney FC getting ready to make 2 more substitutes. It'll be number 2, Noah Matthew, and number 14, Jared Middleton, to come on. Outswinger. Again, they look at the near post, and then Kitano trying the flick. We've seen a couple of goals like that this season. I can think of the Manly United duo, Will Folder and Connor Rose, who in recent times have scored with like near kind of like flicks from a corner aimed at the near post. Similar situation to that. Yuki Kitano not able to recreate the efforts of that Northern Beaches duo. Actually, Connor Rose, from memory, is from the Hillshire, but Connor Rose is an honorary Northern Beaches person for the purposes of football. Solski sends it out of play, and, well, actually, no. Sydney aren't quite ready to make this next double substitution, as Ethan Zvargulis makes sure that all the numbers are correct on his board. Back to Hilton we go. And for Popovic, nice flick and a nice run from Kitano. Daniel. And Popovic. And that's lovely work from Marconi. And the curler is in from Yuki Kitano. The substitute makes a massive impact. Precision from a tight angle. Daniel Solski left clutching at air. And Marconi leading by 4 goals to 0 over Sydney FC. A very, very nice goal Yuki Kitano doing his chances of starting future games. Absolutely no harm with a finish like that.
For Marconi Stallions to number 20, Yuki Kitano. Marconi Goal leads Sydney FC 0.
So I see a number 34, so Blake Bolwell, one of Sydney's long throw experts, will be making way to be replaced by number 2, Noah Matthew. And numbers, that's a swap at the fullback position. And then number 6, Dylan Rose, the other player to make way. He'll be replaced by number 14, Jared Middleton. Although, as I look at that, looks like Middleton is actually going to play at left back. I can't remember seeing Jared Middleton play at left back before. Noah Matthew is the other fullback now. He's at right back for Sydney. This means one of the defenders must have stepped up into midfield. Not this man, that's Samuel Lancaster. And Lancaster wins the free kick. No, well, it's times like this I'm glad to have a commentary position right behind the technical area. Dylan Susovic will get a run out. He's the fifth and final substitution for Marconi. He's replacing number 7 and a man who scored a spectacular goal, Franco Maya. So lots and lots of work accurately recording substitutions that Madeline Riley has to do. Now it's an interesting one for Tyler Williams. I think there was Will Kennedy gave him a tricky task. And done it well enough as France cannot trick his way past 2 players. Looks like, Will Kennedy, who did show a bit of adventure when given the chance. Perhaps not surprising that he's been pushed from defence into midfield to cover the gap left by Dylan Rose. So that's what's allowed Jared Middleton to take the place Kennedy occupied for the first 70 minutes or so at left back. Now, free kick. Of course, I like being a good company man, so once again another reminder of streams coming up. Already did the men's in the first half. I'll probably do those one more time before the end of the game, but there's always a reminder of the upcoming NPL Women's New South Wales games that we have this weekend on the Football New South Wales YouTube page, as that is dealt with in front of the players race by Marconi. So 7 NPL women's games on Sunday. I've got the earliest of the kickoffs at 3:30 p.m. I'll be on the mic from the shipping container in Rooty Hill to call Blacktown Spartans versus Manly United. At 4:40 p.m. from the incredibly cold Northbridge Oval, Bulls FC Academy versus Sydney Olympic. 4 NPL women's games at 5 p.m. RPL Leichhardt versus Football New South Wales Institute from Lambert Park. There's also Illawarra Stingrays versus Sydney University from, not JJ Kelly, Macedonia Park, that's it. Also University of New South Wales versus Gladesville Ravens, 2 recently promoted teams. That's at the Village Green. And also Emerging Jets versus Northern Tigers from Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. And then the latest of the kickoffs is the women's match of the round. From the Arctic Circle, Northwest Sydney Spirit versus MacArthur Rams, coached by former Spirit coach Stephen Peters. And it's a match of the round, so I'm going to assume that will be called by Nikola Posta, a.k.a. the Serbian Martin Tyler. Back to Middleton. Lancaster. Now Callahan, who's dropped deeper and wider just to try and get some ball, and then that's going to be a free kick won by Kennedy. Also, shout out for the match of the round from the women's second tier, League 1 Women's. That's 3 p.m. on Sunday. Now, normally a St. George FC home game against SD Raiders, but it's actually going to be played at SD Raiders home ground, Ernie Smith Reserve, and that'll be called by a great new addition to our commentary team, the Professor Melissa Muscat. And Sydney FC pull a goal back. Here's the signal from a Lancaster. Left-footed effort, headed away. Now, hooked up and back towards Lancaster. Kennedy. Played backwards. I think there's shouts from the Marconi technical area to press. Matthews under some pressure from Telmakovsky. Telmakovsky doesn't just bang in the goals. He does work very hard off the ball. And then that, it is broken up. Acknowledgement dropping deeper and wider. Back to Kalasic. Now the straight ball intercepted by Monge, and another straight ball. Great one for Temelkovsky. He's away, and it's a great save from Daniel Solsky. Stayed big, as the goalkeeping coaches want you to do. Got the angle spot on, and he's denied Temelkovsky a second goal for this evening, as Windust hooks it to safety. Great pass from Julian Monge. We've already seen one substitute make an impact. That was the goal from Yuki Kitano. And it's hard to get those straighter through balls right, but Julian Monge is properly accurate with that ball for Temelkovsky. Marconi denied a fifth goal by that save. Now, chance the other way for Conde, and then, there we go, another example of the goalkeeping arts. For once, Cameron Windus was beaten, Amore Conde was in, and then all the things I just said were demonstrated by James Hilton, who was protecting that clean sheet very well. More room. And out wide to Popovic. He wants to cut inside onto his left foot. And he almost worked the shooting opportunity. Monge going left to Daniel. And now Conde. Back. Actually, but at least the way I read it, Conde came on initially in a wide position with Ayukmo at centre forward, still at centre forward, but that's clearly been swapped. Or maybe it was always that way and I just didn't pick up on it. I suppose the second one is also likely. Now, good punch from Daniel Solsky. That was a punch Katie Taylor would be proud of. Does it also start a Sydney attack? Mo, one-on-one with the new Marconi captain, Brandon Vella, taking over the armband from Jesic. Decent cross. Oh, there's two Sky Blues at the back post. And it's also gone wide. Bailey Callahan didn't have the radar quite spot on. Great ball from Ayuk Mo. Played forward. Now Callahan gets the jump on Nathan Milgate. Milgate blocks the cross. And now Marconi's number 2 will presumably head back into the area. Well, actually, Milgate was wanting to prevent the short corner. And now it's lobbed direct into the middle, and good header from Windust. Susovic doesn't reel it in. Shot from Kennedy, blocked, possibly by Kitano. Another corner for Sydney. It's delivered into the middle again, and not cleared at the first touch. Might break for Ayuk Mo. And James Hilton closed down the angle excellently. More shouts from the Marconi bench to push him up. You want to defend the clean sheet at this late stage, but that doesn't mean parking the bus by any means. It would just invite pressure. Hilton. Again, aims to Marconi's left. Nice ball. There's the 1-2. Kitano laying it back to Susovic. Leaves the defender on the synthetic turf. And Susovic still going. Tried for the through ball. Then tries the shot. That shot is wide. Just looking ahead at upcoming fixtures for both these teams. It does look like Sydney FC will fall to another defeat, which is not really helping their cause when you look at the table. From memory, going into this game, equal on points, equal on 18 points with both Sutherland and Hills United. As the race for the bottom two, the race to escape the bottom two continues to heat up. Now Hilton's way out of his box. He wanted that pass, and in the end, well, that's a safety first decision, but that's good enough because Popovic coming under increasingly heavy pressure, and he did find the option, which was Hilton, and Hilton's gotten rid of the danger. Now attempted flick from Conde. Windust not having any of that. Now this will bounce it. It could be awkward. Williams gets to the header ahead of Susovic, and he gets to the second ball ahead of Susovic as well. So in the end, well, look at this from Tyler Williams, and he might go on before. Who else? Cameron Windust puts a stop to that. That was a nice, thrilling centre-back run from Sydney's number 3. Oh, lovely stuff from Marin France. And France, on he goes, faced with a wall of green jerseys. Still has the ball. An interesting cross. And Vela, only one option there. Puts it behind. Marconi defend the corner kick. How about that from Marin France? Looked to have no way through. And he somehow found the room to dig out a dangerous cross. Excellent work from the Curl Jr. As that is... Oh, there's a rebound, and then somehow after all that, well, not the best defending at the near post from Marconi. In some sense, you could say they've gotten a bit lucky there. It's another Sydney corner. And in fact, not yet, because Kelly Jones will be checking on James Hilton's welfare. Possibly a bit sore after that last scramble in the goal area. We'll go on. Another good delivery. Headed away, though. France back into the middle. And Millgate, well, he clears it, but there's a very sore-looking Marconi player, so we're going to see the physio on. And I think, of course, you have to take head knocks with the... or any suspected head injury with the utmost seriousness. Just briefly, I think I'll finish that thought about games coming up for these two teams. So yes, in the race to escape the bottom two, heating up with the teams in 13th, 14th and 15th, Sutherland, Hills and Sydney, all on 18 points. And Sydney, unless something quite improbable happens, will stay on 18 points after this game is done. For what it's worth, Hills United are here on Sunday. An even tougher task for the men of the Hills. They're up against the league leaders, Rockdale Illington, on Sunday 3 p.m. That'll be called by Theodonis Wilgotsis. Sutherland's next game is 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. They're at home against Sydney United 58. And I mean, looking over their shoulder at the race in the race to escape the bottom two, in 12th, St George FC on 22 points, 4 points ahead of that cluster of teams. Even 11th place Spirit on 24 points. They'll still they're not entirely safe just yet. It is number 20 Yuki Kitano who's the one getting treatment. It's good to see he's sitting up. By the way, Marconi's next game, so on Sunday the 7th of July. Oh my goodness, we're nearly in July already. Can you believe that? But anyway, Sunday the 7th of July, Marconi's next game away to Central Coast Mariners at Plume Park. So yeah, that's probably, I assume that's a game that Pete Pryor will be calling. And then after that, on Saturday the 13th of July, they're back at their home, the Palace, Marconi Stadium, hosting St George City. So Kitano has had to leave the field for now, but yeah, signal back on almost straight away as Kalasic leaves that for Solski. Now, well, that's... we might call that a bonus corner for Marconi. Pass back to the keepers, well off target there. Now, they'll try the variation. Shorter corner to Daniel. Drops the shoulder, then delivers. Far post. Windows is up there! And I think the power on the ball was dying. It might have gone wide anyway. Sydney FC making sure that Cameron Windus doesn't score a second goal this evening. And Marconi's number 3, on 3 goals for the season. Monch, back to Windus. And as Ethan Svargulis is ready to signal the amount of time added on. Did I see a 6? I suppose we'll find out in about 2 minutes. Now, that's touch off Kelly Jones, so I think that will be uncontested drop ball to who? Well, judging by the body language, uncontested drop ball to Sydney. Oh yeah, I do just have one last shout out to the men's games. The other men's games you can see this weekend. I did that in the first half, but I finally found the commentary allocations email so I can give a shout out to all the commentators, or at least the commentators as they were originally, who were originally allocated to the rest of these weekend's games. In fact, might as well do that now. So, well, at least this one I know for sure, because I'll be calling the game tomorrow, 3 p.m. from Wanderers Football Park, unfortunately behind closed doors, so the only way you can watch that, unless you have the necessary connections, is by tuning in on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. But anyway, 3 p.m. tomorrow, my commentary, Dominic Cronidi with the match report. That's Western Sydney Wanderers versus Wollongong Wolves. Then 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, Sutherland Sharks versus Sydney United 58. A couple of NPL men's games at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Firstly, Nicholas Kutniak, the People's Champion, on the mic from Belmore Sports Ground, calling Sydney Olympic versus Manly United. And also at 5 p.m, Pete Pryor at Plume Park, calling Central Coast Mariners versus Northwest Sydney Spirit. That's cleared out of the box. And Popovich, back to Millgate, and away it goes. 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, Twitch streaming expert William Constantinidis will be at Lambert Park to call RPL Leichhardt versus St George FC. And at 7 p.m. tomorrow, the man they call Pretty Boy, Alexander Molchanov, will be at Landon Stadium calling Blacktown City versus St George City. And one NPL men's game on Sunday, as Ethan Svargulis signals a minimum of 5 minutes time added on to be played before we finish this one. But yes, Sunday 3 p.m. at this very venue, Illingdon Sports Centre. It's the league leaders, Rockdale Illingdon against Hills United. And that, as I said a couple of times, will be called by the Adonis himself, Will Gotzes. I think there's also a midweek game from memory, which I think is Wednesday the 3rd of July. I think Central Coast Mariners hosting RPL Leichhardt at Plume Park. So yeah, Pete Pryor we're going to hear his voice quite a few times over the next week. Well, he's the voice of Central Coast football. It is right and just that we hear Pete Pryor's voice as many times as possible. Sydney, perhaps one of their final chances to change the scoreboard. A run from Williams, and the shot is deflected behind for a corner. So Tyler Williams taking the initiative. By the way, I'm going to have to admit defeat to Nicholas Kutniak. He wanted me to work the old Tyrrell Formula 1 team into the commentary, as that there's a variation in the corner. I didn't see a car with 6 wheels, so I've got nothing for Tyrrell. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nicholas. Marconi, not quite danger over, although, there's only one Sydney FC player back, but that ball forward from Marconi went straight to him. It's the flick. Gitano trying to keep it alive. Now Temokovsky stopped, and now 4-4 if Sydney are quick enough with Callahan. Now Ayuk Mo. Vela scrambling back. And Mo still getting to the box anyway. Vela got his foot in there. Here's Conde. It was a nutmeg, and now Conde goes down, and it's a goal kick. But it's good tenacity from Brandon Vela. He had to scramble back. Ayuk most certainly a tricky customer, but as befits the name of the futsal club Brandon Vela plays for, he's certainly a real warrior out there. Shout out to all the fine folk at Jewel Warriors Futsal Club, by the way. A club my friend's daughter used to play for. And while I'm doing fairly shameless shout-outs, shout out to my favourite Jewel Warriors player of all time, the Hills United women's captain, the clean sheet queen, Sarah Easthope. Back to Middleton. Now Kalisic stands it up. Header from Monch. Now Temokovsky helping it on, trying to set it up for Kitano. Sky Blues in the way. Monch in the way. Nice pass with the outside of the boot. Back heel doesn't work out. And touch off Marconi. What do you say? Is it 5 minutes? Yeah, so about less than 60 seconds in this one, we think. As Vela plays it forward. Now Mo, might have run into a cul-de-sac here. And now here's Susovic with an option inside. That's Temokovsky, but the touch is going to reach Popovic. Now Mo. Forced backwards, and this might work out for Temokovsky. That's a good save with the feet from Solsky. And then Marconi trying to persistent to the very end. 4 goals is nice, and a clean sheet also very, very nice. And I think we won't have too much more action. It's full time here at Illinden Sports Centre, and it's a 3rd win in 4 league games for Marconi Stallions. Very convincing stuff for the team from Southwest Sydney. They've defeated Sydney FC by 4-0 this evening. They opened the scoring in the early stages. James Temokovsky scoring his 17th of the season after a wonderful through ball from Franco Maya. In the 38th minute, it was 2-0. Franco Maya scoring one of his own from long range. And right near the end of the first half, Cameron Windus made it 3-0 off a Dominic Costanzo corner. The 4th goal was scored by the substitute in the second half, Yuki Kitano. A lovely curling effort that had Daniel Solsky beaten. All ends up, and that was how we got to where we are. I hope you enjoyed our coverage tonight of the NPL Men's New South Wales competition. If you're a fan of my commentary, and there's got to be at least one of you out there, I'll be on the mic tomorrow from Wanderers Football Park to call the NPL Men's game between Western Sydney Wanderers and Wollongong Wolves. That's at 3 p.m. And then on Sunday, I'll stay in Rudy Hill for the 3:30 p.m. kickoff in NPL Women's New South Wales, Blacktown Spartans versus Manly United. But this is Eric Subihano signing off for the Football New South Wales YouTube page on behalf of Football New South Wales and tonight's camera operator, Nicholas, who's been very patient listening to my terrible attempts at humour. Wishing you plenty of good vibes, great coffee, sick tattoos, razzlers, and may your team win convincingly away from home when they need to. See you next time.